Welcome back to Growing Starshine. My name is Ashley, and today we're going to be doing some seeding for spring and talking about some victories and some failures that I've had with seed starting. So let's get into it. Okay, so it is a beautiful 62-degree day. At least right now it's 62 degrees here in Central Florida. It is the end of winter. So whereas other places, they're still expecting maybe their last frost date not until March or April, ours has already passed. So we can go ahead and start our seeds. So today I am going to be planting 20 different varieties of seeds. These are all new seeds that I've gotten this year. If you want to see me talk more in depth about all of these and where I got them from, why I bought them, yada yada yada, you can go and put that video up there or there somewhere. It'll be somewhere where I did my 2022 seed haul of new seeds that I got this year. But today we're not going to be talking so in depth about each different variety. We're just going to be planting them and talking about seed starting in general. So okay, so to start out, what I have come to really like to use are these little 72 cell trays, okay? These I got at Walmart. They were $5.44 each. And I did not buy them all at once because I like to spend as little money as possible when I'm gardening. I like it to be very economical. I like it to be very sustainable. So I purchased these slowly over time. So I have, I believe, 5 or 6 now. So, and also, you know, you don't really want to start all of your seeds all at one time because things grow differently and you might not have room for everything. So that's one mistake I made, was I started too many things all at once last year, and that was a little bit of it didn't go so good. things happen. So before I start prepping this, I'm going to show you guys some victories and failures in seed starting. So sometimes you can feel like you did everything right and things just don't go right, you know, and you just don't know what it is, right? So let me show you. We have, these are our flowers that we started a couple weeks ago. And look how beautiful they're all popping up. I mean, every single type of flower has some kind of growth. You know, these are a little slower, but I still got one there. And everything else just looks like, look how happy they are. They're growing, they're doing good. Right? Okay, so these are all good. This next tray, I planted at the exact same time and treated in the same conditions. Watered it the same sunlight, same spot. Do you guys see the lack of green here? Okay. There's a couple, okay, so these are rutabagas. A couple of the rutabagas came up, and I expected that somewhat. Rutabagas, I've had a hard time getting to germinate sometimes, but I have a couple. You know, I don't have the full amount here. I should have 36, but I have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. I've got 10. Okay, 10 of the 36 sprouted. Over here, we have Sun King broccoli and Destiny broccoli. And we've got nothing. We don't have a single freaking thing growing. At one point, one little guy popped up and then he died. So, and I'm not really sure what happened here because I've grown these 2 types of broccoli seedlings before and they did just fine. So I don't know if my seeds are old, if the seeds got wet somehow or too exposed to the sun, or there's just something going on here. I don't know. So sometimes you can feel like you did everything right or you did everything the same and it's just not gonna work. And that's just kind of the nature of nature, you know? So don't feel bad if your tray looks like this. Try again. You know, try again. Or maybe, you know, I'm thinking maybe it's these seeds that are the issue, maybe. So I'm gonna go ahead and buy a new pack of seeds and give that a try. I've had this issue with other things before, like these are, oh my gosh, there's so much stuff in here. Okay, so these are a bunch of different types of flowers, and I would say probably a good 60% of them have all sprouted, okay? But some varieties have not. Specifically, the carnations have not sprouted. And I have never been able to get carnations to sprout, but I have been using the same seed packet for 2 years. So, and everything I thought, because I couldn't get them to sprout and I tried so many different ways, that maybe, you know, they're just a hard to grow flower, but come to find out they're not. They're supposed to be easy to grow. So I'm thinking it might be my seeds. It might not be me at all. It might be the seeds. So I'm gonna get, again, a new pack of the seeds and try it out. So don't give up on a particular variety if it's not working for you. Maybe, you know, get a new pack of seeds, or try a new variety, or change your potting soil. You know, you don't know. So it's trial and error. So okay, the second thing I want to talk about, actually I'm not going to talk about that yet. I am going to go ahead and start these seeds, and we'll talk about that as we're going, because this is a problem and it's here. This is an example of the problem, but we're not going to talk about that yet. Okay. Sure, back to my empty seed bag. So exciting. I love to see this so much. Okay. I know that some people sanitize their seed trays at the beginning of the season. I don't do that. I've never really had too much of a trouble with bacteria or mold or things like that, at least, you know, as far as I know. I've had a pretty good success rate starting seeds. So, and I don't know, it's something just, I know I get the idea of sterilizing it, making sure there's no bacteria or anything in it. It just doesn't seem natural to me, you know. Things, you know, outside is not sterile, so I don't know. I don't like to upset the natural environment too much, so I try to do things as close to nature as I can. So, and maybe that's wrong. Maybe that's part of my issue with some of the seeds that haven't started, but I don't know. But if you guys have any reasons why you sterilize your seed containers, or maybe you're against it, I don't know, leave it in the comments below. Let me know. Let's talk about sterilizing seed containers, because that's something that I'm just I don't know about. So okay, so normally what I would do to start these, in the past I used a seed starting mix, but I recently watched a video by, I can't remember it now, I'll go ahead and link it in the bottom, about creating your own seed starting mix to kind of give the plants more nutrients. And what they did was a mixture of potting mix that they sifted and compost. I'm not going to use compost today because these I think are going to get too big before they really need it, because a lot of the seeds, these are quick growers, so I'm not going to worry about it at this stage. But what I would normally do is get some potting mix, not seed starting formula, you know, that has other things in it, and then sift it. I would sift it right over here, just to make it finer, because potting mix can have wood chunks. However, today we're not doing that because I have this Miracle Grow potting mix, and I know a lot of people are like, Miracle Grow, no. I know, I don't usually buy Miracle Grow. Actually, I think this might be the first or second time I've ever bought it, but that's all they had. They did not have the potting mix that I normally get, and so that's all they had, and I need to start the seeds. So I was like, yeah, it'll be okay, it's fine. It's not like I'm doing this all the time, and it's not like I'm like soaking my plants in like all these chemical fertilizers. Okay, so again, normally I sift this if I was using my other brand of potting soil that I normally use, but since this Miracle Grow stuff, it's not really woody. In fact, I'm surprised because it's kind of like seed starting mix. It is so fine. So there was really no need for me to sift this. Go ahead and fill these all in. I just like to do this method of just like plopping it on top and then just pushing in the holes. It works pretty good. Pretty quick. The edges are always kind of difficult though, because it kind of slops everywhere. I think that's good. Okay, we have our seed tray all filled. Let's clean up our mess here. Just a little bit. We're gonna make more of a mess, but I'm gonna save this. Every little bit counts. Okay. Right? Okay. Now we're going to start our seeds. Where did I put my... Oh gosh, I've lost stuff already. Really? Have I really lost stuff already? No, I have it. I got it. I got them. Okay. Okay, so first thing you're going to be planting today is Mexican sour gherkins, which are little tiny cucumbers. So I already have some cucumbers growing, but I'm thinking I'm going to have to replant those because they're not doing so hot. We had a freeze come through and several days of very cold weather, and the cucumbers did not like that. They are a bit stunted, so I don't know if they'll come back. I've put them in the ground. They've been back in the ground for about 3 weeks, but they haven't really done anything. So I don't know. Let's see. Most of these seeds I've planted before, and I looked at the seed packet. There's not really much like different about planting them. You just kind of stick them in there. You don't want to stick them in too deep. You don't want to stick them in too shallow. A good rule of thumb that's good to remember if you don't know or you don't have the right seed packet, or you lost your seed packet or someone gave you seeds, is you want to plant them 2 to 4 times the depth of the seed, like the size of the seed. So if your seed is teeny tiny little mustard seed, you want to imagine stacking 4 of those up, and you only want to plant it that deep. So if you got a big like sunflower seed, those usually go like 1 inch down because they're big. So you want to imagine 2 to 4 times that depth. Okay, so we're going to be labeling these. Okay, this is what I want to talk about. Labeling is so important, okay? So these labels I just got from Amazon. I was previously out of labels, so I was trying to scratch over my old labels and reuse them. And what ended up happening is it was really hard to read some of what the plants were, and then also I was using a Sharpie, and a Sharpie works great for a little while. If that's all you have, that's fine, but keep in mind that you will probably have to keep going over it every couple weeks because UV destroys Sharpie. Okay, example A. This mess right here, my flowers. I don't know if you guys can see this, but some of these say absolutely nothing. And they say absolutely nothing because the UV has bleached the Sharpie out. Usually it takes a long time for this to happen. But this happened in 3 days. So I have some that are still, you know, still say English Daisy or nothing, or question mark, or that might say that's a Johnny Jump Up. Okay, most of them faded to the point of where I cannot no longer read them. So I know what some of these are, some of these I do not, because they are baby seedlings. So I will not know what the heck they are until they get bigger. And these are perennial flowers, so it's gonna take a while. It's gonna take a while. So I'm gonna be taking care of these things that I don't know what they are, and I can't put them anywhere until I know what they are. So this is a problem. So how do you avoid that? You get yourself a UV marker. This thing will last like forever. Anything I put the UV marker on plant tags with, it has never faded. I'm talking 1-2 years, never faded. So UV marker, you need that, because if things get jumbled here, it's gonna be a problem. Okay, so I got my cucumbers here. Okay, another tip is I like to keep things that have a similar germination time closer together. So some of these things are going to take 10 days, possibly 3 weeks to germinate. And some might be as quick as 3 days, 3 to 7, somewhere in there. Usually cucumbers and melons sprout pretty quickly. So I don't want to put a melon here, and then things in between that take a lot longer, because as I pull that up, although they're in cells and they shouldn't be disturbed, sometimes the dirt will flop over on the other side and things get kind of messed up. So I want to keep it so that I can take these out and then these out and then these out. Kind of, you know, mostly, it's not going to be exactly like that, but mostly, you know, going in a nice order, keeping things orderly, because I have planted like sunflowers and with herbs before, and pulling the sunflowers out, and then you had an empty patch down the middle. So I've learned my lesson about that. So we have our cucumbers on the end, and now we're going to be planting our melons. We're going to be doing our Queen Anne pocket melons, our golden midget melons, our ice cream green machine melons, and our early moonbeam melons. I still have more from the 2022 seed haul video I did, more types of melons that I'm not going to plant yet because I do not have infinite space and melons take up a lot of space. So we're going to go ahead and plant these. I think I am done talking for now. So I'm just going to go ahead and do this on a little speed, okay? This is where movie magic comes in.
Putting our life in boxes, erasing the memories so you won't notice. I'm taking the time to focus. You're by yourself, I'm by myself. Wish I could solve your problems. They're stuck on my wall like neon paintings, and I'm so tired of being honest to everyone but myself. I do it so well. We were so good at flying, but we can't keep flying. We keep getting stuck on the wrong side of the mountain. We were so good at trying, but we can't keep trying, 'cause we only end up on the wrong side of the mountain.
Okay, you guys, I just made like a mistake, okay? A mistake that I almost always make, that I should know not to make by now. So, when you are putting in your plant tags, okay, it is a good idea to put your plant tags in first before your seeds, because what happens is exactly what I did. I had already put my seed in this tray here, and then I put my plant tag in and pushed my seed down way too deep. That's not good. So it's good to put your plant tags in first. So I'm gonna go ahead and put in actually all my plant tags of all the varieties I am growing, because that way that won't happen again.
She grew up in a little town right by the sea. She never let things hold her down, always been all she could be. But she spent them nights down at the shore, looking far away to leave. The end of the horizon was as far as she could see. Her mother used to work them nights at the Blue Moon Cabaret, and it's been about 11 years since her father went away. And though she often hated him, she never felt betrayed. She knew inside her broken heart they would meet again someday. She's a bird now.
Okay, so to finish these up, we're just going to put a thin layer of soil on top. Sprinkling. Some of the seeds of the certain varieties, like the lettuces and the spinach, I did sow more than one seed per cell. I've kind of experimented with this, and I found, you know, some plants do not like this. It kind of doesn't do so good, and they have a hard time separating, and then other plants, they do just fine, you know. So it's kind of, again, trial and error there. This is good. Sometimes I pack it down, sometimes I don't. It kind of depends on how I'm feeling, what I want to test that day. So I'm just going to, I think, lightly pack this down. I'm not going to worry about separating the cells. The water kind of does that on its own and washes everything clean. So I'm going to put this in a sunny location. I've done different things. Sometimes I put it in like a semi-shade location, sometimes a sunny location. Since it's not that hot out yet, it's still the end of winter here, so I'm just going to put them in the sun because they're not going to get too roasted yet. My camera just fell. Yeah, so I'm going to go ahead and finish up this video because I have already gotten one warning that I am out of storage, or almost out of storage. So that's all for today. Thank you for coming and seed starting with me and chatting, and I'm looking forward to showing you guys how these guys grow and get bigger and how they do in the garden. So thanks again for watching, and I will see you next time. Bye.
She